Hi, and welcome back to At Home with Ursh. Great to see you all again. Today we are going to make something called cheese straws. It's probably the quickest and easiest snack that you can do should you have unexpected guests, and even your kids can help with them. What we're going to do is just do cheese, onion, and chili today, and you can go to our link to look at all the other flavor options. Let's start. So simply grease a big pan with spray and cook. And then we're going to take one roll of ready-made puff pastry. I always keep a few in my freezer just because they're really handy to have. We're going to generously dust our countertop with some flour because you don't want it sticking and stretching. And then unroll your pastry from one side to the other on your floured surface. So you can see we've got a good sheet of puff pastry here. I just put mine in the fridge the night before if I know I'm going to leave, and if people come unexpectedly I just leave it out and it doesn't take long to get to room temperature. Just dust a little bit on top, some flour. Then we take finely chopped onions and spread them along one half of your puff pastry. When I worked at Unilever, I used to do this in a cooking training, and all the guys used to love this because it was a way to impress their new girlfriends with a homemade snack, and they'd have it ready in the oven and just grab it out when the prospective girlfriend or the person they were wooing arrived, and they would have these delicious crispy cheese straws. I've added some chili flakes. For color, I'm just going to add a few chopped chives because I like to have the little bits of green. And here I always just use the scissors. The handiest, easiest way to cut them is just with the scissors. Make sure you get a nice even distribution. Just some of the other flavor variants you can do are things like sun-dried tomato and cheese. You can do blue cheese and walnut. If you eat bacon, you can do bacon and cheese and onion. But we're just keeping it simple. We now add our cheese. Make sure you get a nice even sprinkling of cheese. And always preheat your oven to 220 because pastry, especially puff pastry, must be cooked at a high temperature for a short time. There you can see we've got a nice distribution of cheese. We then bring the outer edge over and fold it over our cheese. And now it's quite important that you press down to make sure that your pastry seals and that your cheese kind of gets embedded in the pastry. Otherwise, when we twist them, you're going to have a problem. I'm just using a rolling pin to just roll that down a bit. And then using a nice knife, I cut the edges off, just so that we have neat edges. There we go. And then we cut them about a finger width. No more than that. So you can see we've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24. 2 dozen from a roll of puff pastry. Now is the important part. We have to twist them. And when you've twisted them, just press down the top and the bottom on the pan so that they don't shoot out of shape. Just 2 or 3 twists is enough. You want that cheese to be exposed so that it can go golden brown and melt nicely. And you have delicious, appetizing cheese straws basically in 12 minutes. If you preheated your oven and you pop them in at 220, in 12 minutes they are ready and golden brown and ready to add on your cheese board or as a snack platter. We're going to pop that with the others in the oven at 220 for about 12 minutes. And voila, we have our beautiful cheese onion chive straws with a little bit of chili. What I'm going to do is just use a lifter, separate them apart. And these are savory, flavorful little bites of delight in your mouth. They always go down a huge treat. And so quick and easy and cost effective again to do as a snack to take to a braai or to a function. You can just lay them on a pretty plate. You've got their 5 and 5. You can pop some on top. And always remember to garnish. So you decorate sweet goods and you garnish savory. That's the chefing game. And always try and garnish it with something that you've got in it. So what we're going to do is move that away, bring this here. Chives we've got, so we're going to cut some chives over it. Let me just get these last few. And then just for pops of color, I'm going to add cherry tomatoes, because that goes with cheese. You kind of think cheese and tomato. And it just adds a little pop of color burst on your platter. And there we go, cheese straws.